Welcome everybody to Southwest Premier League Live. This is Steven Ramirez, and with me I got a special guest today, Randall Davis. He plays for Buena FC. He has some history in the league. How are you doing today, Randall?
I'm doing pretty great. Thanks for having me. Really excited to be here. Been playing with the league for a long time, so just happy to be a part of this.
And when you approached me, one of the things you talked about was definitely your recovery. You're recovered from a ruptured Achilles,
Mhm.
which, I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about that. But before we do, you recovered. Now you're back on the field for Buena FC. You've had some history with the league. So before we talk about the league, let's kind of talk about your Achilles. I mean, that's got to be a crazy recovery to come back from.
Yeah. I mean, it was pretty tough. Obviously during the craziness with COVID, we weren't able to play like official games, but we'd still go out and play short-sighted or play like unofficial scrimmages. And I just remember, one day chasing down a ball, by myself, and it felt like someone kicked me, and then I looked around and there was no one there. It was just me, and then I realized that I had ruptured my Achilles. So it was pretty tough. I've never had an injury, that serious or that long term. So I knew it was going to be a bit of a long road, but I had my family and friends that were like encouraging me and stuff. So I knew I'd be able to probably come back from it. So.
And I think when you get those like injuries like that, and it's that desire to come back to for the love of the game, right?
Mm.
How did you fall in love with soccer?
Yeah, like I've been playing soccer since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. My older brother was the first person in our family to play, and then you know how it is with big brothers, little brothers. The little brother always wants to be like the older brother. So I was like, oh, I want to play too, and I've been playing ever since. Obviously. Back when I first started playing, there wasn't a whole lot of coverage of soccer in the United States. Don't want to age myself here, but typically you'd have to catch like a replay in the middle of the night, or they'd play the odd Champions League match, or Fox Sports World would have like the Premier League highlight show. And you could catch a Mexican, a Mexican league game every now and then on TV, on Spanish speaking TV. But I just, grew to love the game over time, just because of the camaraderie and the ability to compete and stuff like that, and exposure to different people and different cultures.
Now, for Buena FC, you play as a defender. Who are some players that have inspired you?
Yeah, you know what? Funny enough, I think as a kid, I played, or I fancied myself an attacker back in those days, and I really liked Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, just because he was a really strong, powerful player, very quick. And my dad, when he was learning the game, because he didn't grow up playing soccer, but he taught me the game, and but he had to teach himself first. And one of the teams that he watched a lot was the Dutch national team. So he liked Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank. He was like, "Hey, you have similar attributes, for your size as a child, kind of thing." And he kind of tried to model my game after him, especially after I hit my growth spurt. But then I ended up playing defense, just because that's just how things worked out. But I still fancied myself, an attacker. I try to take on a couple guys and burst up the field before trying to pass it to someone else. So
Well, when I think of great defenders, I mean, they always have that second piece, right? They can defend first, but they have the ability to move up the field, and passing is so crucial right now. I mean, that
yeah,
skill in itself is just so necessary for a great center back.
yeah, absolutely. I started out as a center back, and then I was, as tall as I am now, at about 12 or 13 years old. So I thought I was going to be super tall, but I didn't grow. I didn't grow up anymore. I grew out after that. So now I play outside back, and with the way that the game's evolved since
Mhm.
then, outside backs, they attack. They attack a lot. They're actually very important to the attack. So maybe some of those early years, kind of getting ingrained to me being an attacker, really helped to kind of mold my style that I have now.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you're playing currently with Buena Park FC, but how long have you been playing in Southwest Premier League or, SoCal Premier League, and what other teams have you played for?
Yeah, so I mean, I've been playing in the league since the 2008 2009 season. So really long time. I'm losing count, counting how many seasons. I originally started with a team that's unfortunately no longer around called Irvine FC. But and there's been various other teams that I've played in between then. But some of the more recent teams, the teams that are currently in the league, I played with Outbreak for 1 or 2 seasons. We were actually able to win a Premier League champion chip, and I think in the 2016 2017 season. And then most recently, I was playing with Real Sociedad.
Mhm.
Both really great clubs that have been around the league for a long time. High quality players on both teams. Um, and I made the decision to kind of transition to Buena Park because it's an up, they are kind of an up and coming team in their current iteration, right? They've had some changeover over the past couple years, and this version of the team has started out in the bottom tier, and they've worked themselves up. And I have some friends that play on that team, and coming back from my injury, jumping right into the top division, it was a bit of a stretch right out the gate. And the second division is very competitive. I think is a great place for me to get my legs underneath me, perhaps help Buena Park get promoted,
Yeah.
and then go from there and see what my level is at by the end of the season.
Yeah, like you said, get promoted, right? Because that's the ultimate goal, and get back into the first division.
Yeah.
Right now, Buena Park FC is in first in second division. So I'm gonna kind of read this out. You fill in the blank for me. BPFC will be crowned D2 champions and earn automatic promotion because of.
Their commitment to the cause. The whole team is very committed. They sometimes it's a hassle, like getting people to show up to the game, but not with this team. They show up, they're ready to go, and they're just committed. They play for each other. There's not a lot of ragging on each other during the game if anyone makes a mistake. They're just committed to making it happen, and that reflects in the way that we interact with each other and the way that the way that we play. So I think they'll get promoted because of their commitment to the cause.
Awesome. And teamwork is huge, right? We ask 11 people to get on the field and play a certain way and go for a singular goal. So teamwork is definitely key. Now, just to kind of go back into the league, and you got a committed team at BPFC. How is the competition now compared to, like, let's say 2009, 2010?
Well, really, we've seen the league grow in its top to bottom competition, meaning that there's always, the ceiling of the league has always been pretty good. You see your former pro ever so often, you see your out of contract pro ever so often, and you see your up and coming, young players that one day might be something. Thinking back to my most recent team, Real Sociedad, I mean, they had two players that went on to play pro recently. But you're seeing that more and more often now in the league. Every now and then, it's like, okay, this team has this guy or that guy. Now it's every week.
Yeah.
You're pretty much going to be in a battle every week. So the top to bottom quality has really, really improved to where every week is going to be a battle. You never know, who, the last place team might beat the first place team, and that's what makes the league really great. That there's always the opportunity to compete, and great exercise, obviously, and just there's now more and more like opportunities within the league depending upon what your goals are. If you're there just to play and have fun, there's a division for that, right? But then if you're there to advance your team or advance personally in your soccer goals, then there's the opportunity to do that well. So I would say top to bottom quality has improved and solidified over the years.
Now, how do you think, it's December, we're in Raul Briones Cup,
Mhm.
time. How, if you want to make some predictions, how is BPFC going to do? And, you're going to have this opportunity, to play some Division 1 sides.
Yeah.
How do you think the squad's going to fare?
You know what? I think we have a pretty good chance of perhaps, going on a little bit of a Cinderella run. All that's going to be dependent on probably, these next two games, right? If we get enough points and put ourselves in a good positions to maybe in that first round be playing one of the weaker first division sides, or stronger second division sides, might have a chance to get into some of those two-legged rounds. And I don't know, anything can happen. That's what's great about cup play, is that it's not about the next game. It's not about the game you just played. It's about what's going on right there. And all things are equal, so anything can happen. So, I foresee us potentially getting into, like the semifinals if we come together and stay focused and have a game plan. I see us potentially making some noise.
And I mean, that would be an incredible season, especially, being the first Southwest Premier League season, going to a semifinals in the Raw Briones Cup and getting automatic promotion. I mean, that's quite a phenomenal season. So, what are your goals, not just for the squad, which we've kind of talked about, but for you personally?
For me personally, coming back from the injury, like my first goal was just to get back out on the field and to see if I can still play. I didn't want my last memory of playing soccer, me being carried off by my teammates. I tried to get up and walk it off like Kobe, but they were like, "No, you're not Kobe," and they just carried me.
We
But
got this.
yeah, they're like, no one's watching you here. Just it's okay. So my personal goals were just to get back out on the field, be able to capture as much as of my previous level as possible. I want to try to like play in front of my daughter, so she actually has a memory of me playing and playing well, and then she could just hold on to that forever. But really, just to try to compete, help the team do well, and be just a an example to perhaps some younger guys that that are on the team, just to be an example, like kind of on the field. But soccer is a great place to learn life lessons. I wouldn't be where I was in my personal life and my professional life without the lessons that I've learned playing the game. And I really love like mentoring like younger players, about the game, but also about life. Some the two of my friends that are on the team, we haven't played together in many years, but we've remained friends because of our previous experiences playing together, and we've just continued to be friends. We've been at each other's weddings, things like that, and then we talk about life stuff all the time. So really, that's that my goal was just to get back out there, try to play and play well and compete at a high level again, and then just be a mentor for the next generation of players coming up.
Now, who would you think are some of the players, if you want to name them, on Buena Park that everyone else should be looking at? Maybe some of the younger players.
Well, I don't want to single out like any one player.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're all doing really well. I've played, I've only had a few training sessions with them and one game recently. So I think it's too early for me to say, this is the guy to look out for. Because our last game, we put together a pretty comprehensive performance. I think everyone did a great job. The person that I really want to highlight from the team, obviously the whole group is great, would be the manager, Jerry Murillo. He's a really cool dude. He's created a really good environment. You can tell that everyone on the team respects him. By they answer his phone calls, they respond to texts, they're there on time, and they listen to what he has to say, during the game. But he's taken a group of guys that were looking for a team and maybe didn't have a team at the time, and they battled all the way up to where they are right now over the past few years. And I think it's pretty incredible what he's been able to put together.
Do you see yourself becoming a coach at some point, in the future?
Yeah, maybe. I think I'm going to play for as long as I can.
Yeah.
Every now and then, I think as a what they would call an elder statesman, you're a little bit of a player coach on the field sometimes. Helping out with halftime team talks or just trying to guide people during the game. But yeah, I think one day when it's time for me to maybe slow down on the playing, then yeah, I think I wouldn't mind stepping into like a manager role.
Cool. Now, as a very proud dad myself of a daughter, I kind of want to go back on that one.
Yeah.
Has your daughter started kicking a ball around?
Yes, she has actually. At first, she kept picking it up with her hands, right, which is natural for kids. But I think she's been to a couple games now, and she's watched part of it. She likes to run around a lot,
Yeah.
short attention span, right? But now she kind of kicks around the ball. She knows what a soccer ball is, and we watch soccer every now and then for as long as
That she'll
as
take.
she's able to. Yeah. So yeah, she started to kick the ball around. I'm not gonna push it on her per se, but I'll give
Yeah.
her a little nudge.
Yeah. Well, it's like we love soccer. It's on the TV. You
Yeah.
get kind of used to it, but it's even for a daughter as young as mine, just to even see her kind of like do that and take an interest, it's just such a great feeling. And
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I love every moment talking about my daughter. So, but before we get out of here and close things up, Randall, thanks for coming on. What are some closing thoughts that you have for anyone who's watching or anyone playing in the league?
Yeah, what I think one thing that coming back from my injury taught me is that you have to be patient, you have to be persistent, and you have to have self belief, right? In anything you do, this is like a life lesson, right? If I had gone out of the surgery and said, "Oh, I'm never going to play again," I'm not going to be the same again, and took that attitude into what I was doing, then I wouldn't have, gotten back to the level that I'm at right now. I don't think I'm all the way back to where I was, but I see little glimpses, and I'm hopeful that I can get there with more time. So I would just say, anyone that's playing in the league, if they have a goal, whether it's a team goal, a personal goal, personal aspiration, whether it's on the field or out in their personal lives, just believe in yourself, plan appropriately, and be consistent and be persistent. Like keep going, right? That whole, the pyramids weren't built in a day. That whole analogy, or was it Rome wasn't built in a day? Whatever the saying is, you got to keep going brick by brick, and then eventually you'll realize how far you've come, and you'll realize that a lot can be achieved just as long as you believe in yourself and you apply yourself consistently.
Yeah, perfectly said. Buena Park FC, four wins, one loss, one draw, in first place right now. You heard it from Randall. They're going to go right into that semis, Real Briones,
Uh-oh.
clinch promotion. But no, the club's doing great. Randall, thanks for coming on. Everyone, make sure you're watching and staying tuned. We have some great matches coming up. This week we have the clash between Inland Empire FC and Las Vegas Legends U20. So whoever wins that match is going to get the automatic win into the NISA Independent Cup. So that's exciting. We have your old club, Outbreak SC, Capo FC is in going for Open Cup, as well as Metro FC. So more news will come out. But everyone, thanks for watching. Randall, thank you for coming on today. And everyone, go support local soccer.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.